Kia ora, ko whasmitho, nā mai ki te whare, welcome to the House. This is the middle year of the current Parliament, a year that traditionally passes the largest number of bills. The current government is certainly trying to follow that pattern. This week, the focus is debating numerous bills under urgency.
Chris Bishop.
I move that urgency be accorded the first reading and referral to a select committee of the Immigration, Fiscal Sustainability and System Integrity Amendment Bill and the Climate Change Response Emissions Trading Scheme Forestry Convention Amendment Bill, the third reading of the Social Security Mandatory Reviews Amendment Bill, the Rates Rebate Amendment Bill, the Racing Industry Amendment Bill and the Invest New Zealand Bill, the remaining stages of the Oversight of Oranga Tamariki System Legislation Amendment Bill and the Employment Relations Pay Deductions for Partial Strikes Amendment Bill, the third reading of the Victims of Sexual Violence Strengthening Legal Protections Legislation Bill and the first reading and referral to Select Committee of the Game Animal Council Herds of Special Interest Amendment Bill.
Across the two most recent parliaments, the use of either urgency or extra sittings has become so regular as to be almost normal.
It doesn't give me any pleasure to move urgency today. However, we are a busy government with a big legislative agenda. There are limited hours in ordinary House time to get things done, I would point out to the House.
Urgency in and of itself is now barely newsworthy, but it is still important to know which laws are being debated and agreed, at whatever speed. So let me run through the bills under consideration. Note, though, that there are too many bills this week to give any real sense in just a few minutes of the debates happening around them. Before urgency began, the House completed supplementary estimates and impress supply bills. Those adjust last year's budget numbers and afford the government an ongoing cash supply. These next three bills were each read for a first time and referred to Select Committee for public feedback, so take note. Barbara Edmonds.
Four other countries that are more restrictive than New Zealand: Australia, Canada, Iceland, Mexico.
This is a bill that seeks to make approvals for incoming foreign investment faster and easier. Investment tests will be coalesced and a 3-week deadline imposed for approvals to be given, unless there are reasonable grounds for a national interest assessment. Erica Stanford.
This bill will improve the immigration system's integrity and responsiveness by tightening settings in response to risk. More instances of migrant exploitation can be prosecuted, and there will be stronger consequences for residence class visa holders who commit criminal offences or pose significant risks.
The Immigration, Fiscal Sustainability and System Integrity Amendment Bill gives the Minister of Immigration a range of new powers, fixes some holes and issues, and allows immigration-related levies to be charged to new groups.
I move that the Climate Change Response Emissions Trading Scheme Forestry Conversion Amendment Bill be now read a first time.
This bill seeks to disincentivise the conversion of farms into exotic forests by no longer allowing them to register for benefits from the emissions trading scheme. Now, each of those three bills will be available now for public feedback. The next group of bills were all read for a third and final time and will now be signed into law. Louise Upston.
It establishes a process for MSD to regularly review people's circumstances to ensure that they are receiving the correct entitlement. The changes are expected to create savings to the government.
The Social Security Mandatory Reviews Amendment Bill creates a mandatory requirement for those receiving some benefits or supplements to reapply for them every year. It also appears to widen the allowance for what sounds like AI to make decisions about things like ending benefits or imposing sanctions.
Rates Rebate Amendment Bill, third reading.
This Rates Rebate Bill slightly increases the earnings limit within which Supergold card holders can apply for a rates rebate. It's a small increase, but it did mean that the bill was reasonably widely supported, though not massively enthusiastically. The Racing Industry Amendment Bill widens the current betting monopoly that's held by the TAB to include online betting. The Invest New Zealand Bill creates a new agency, the objective of which is attracting international investment. Now that is a cracking pace for debating, and that was through Tuesday evening and the extra Wednesday morning session that was happening under urgency. The last of those bills finished its third reading just before 4 on Wednesday. And at that point, progress started to slow as the House tangled again with the Committee of the Whole House stage of debate. That one is not time limited, and especially slow for contentious bills under urgency, which describes the Oversight of Oranga Tamariki Legislation Amendment Bill. which changes the mechanisms and the agencies responsible for watching over the performance of Oranga Tamariki. You've been listening to The House at Te Whakaranga Koe ki te Whare. This program is produced with funding from Parliament's Office of the Clerk. Mā te wā.